Hey, man, welcome to the AFTR, the after show with the Mad Dog and Cole, the king of the motos. Farrell, nice stash, bro.
Nice stash to you as well. Peace be with you. Dude, cops hate when you race them.
I decided to fly through the air and live in the sunlight and enjoy life as much as I could, and that's just what I'm doing.
Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm. Wait.
Man, oh man, thank you, Mr. Evil Knievel, for those inspiring words. How blessed are we? I mean, we don't got to fly motorcycles through the air, but living in the sunlight and enjoying life, dude. Everybody take a minute, please, and just do it.
Yeah, and take a minute to thank your first responders, thank your active military personnel, the families of active and retired military. Couldn't do this podcast without them. Safer because of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you all so much. And special shout out to the families of those service people, KIA and still MIA. We thank you for your sacrifice. I know it's just words, but it is from our hearts, believe us.
Absolutely.
Man, we got to thank our great partners, Kicker Performance Audio, kicker.com, on Instagram at Kicker Audio, every other Tuesday on Facebook and YouTube at Kicker Unmasked Live, their live TV show. They've announced some new products, and actually this coming Tuesday, they will be dropping a whole line of new products coming out, which I know what they all are. So, yeah, pretty excited about that. And I'll let you in on a little bit. The remade, I shouldn't say new because we've had the micro power sports amps before, in a 300 watt 4-channel and a 500 watt 1-channel. They've been excessively popular. They're re-releasing those, the micro amps again for power sports. So that's just a little hint of what's coming.
All right. Little teaser.
Check them out. Yeah, check them out. And, where would we be without, man, Bomber Eyewear, our boy Tommy? The vision to have the blue jeans of sunglasses, affordable, durable, last you a lifetime glasses, safety glasses, sunglasses, over 40 frame styles. And man, I don't even know how many lens styles. I'm pretty partial lately to these boogie bombs. Of course, the white wrap, because white wraps matter. In the ice mirror blue polarized safety lens. Check them out. BomberEyewear.com, on Instagram at Bomber Eyewear, because Bomber Eyewear, they float.
And they look cool.
Absolutely. Of course, speaking of cool, our man Cole at the Premix Podcast, sharing all his passion for desert racing through the lens of the camera, and also the Premix Podcast, available to get booked for your MC or announcer needs, whether it's an off-road event, marriage, divorce, whole race, whatever you need. Our man Cole has got you covered. Slide into his DMs at the Premix Podcast on Instagram. That's the @ symbol, ThePremixPodcast on Insta, and get him booked, because I know slots are booking quick for 2024. We got stuff going, so check him out. Of course, Kelsey Morrell Film has been busting her butt getting everything ready for the YouTube channel. I know you're saying, Mad Dog, I haven't seen anything yet. You're correct. I still have a little bit of spit and polish to do on my end. And I have to do it at home. I can't do it on the road. And I have been on the road. I've been home 2 out of the last 18 days. So, serious shout out for Ms. Kelsey at Kelsey Morel Film. If you need all your film needs, production, final production, post production, shooting, find her on Instagram at Kelsey Morel Film. Of course, all our social media templates and videos being handled by the amazing Hey Keeks Marketing. Any need anything from social media to websites built, websites maintained, whatever you need, yell Hey Keeks or find her online, heykeeks.com, and on Instagram at Hey Keeks Marketing. Dude, what a week. Holy cow. I think last time we spoke, I was getting geared up for Guthrie 2.
Yep. Yep.
And we're up there in Oklahoma. Guthrie 1 was a success. The Pro-Am night was good. Got to spend a few days working on some projects while I was there at headquarters with the kicker team. Even had a chance to do a little sit-in on their Unmasked Live, and I believe you caught that sit-in.
Dude, you were the star of that show. I mean, the host does a great job, but I love seeing you on there, and it is funny to me because before we did this show, like you're good at online personality stuff, but it's funny to see you do it in something different. So I like seeing you behind the camera where I'm not behind the other camera.
Right. No, and honestly, thank you, because without you, there would be no AFTR show. And man, it was just comfortable. They were like, "Do you want a headset?" And I'm like, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna just fake it with the hideaway mic this time. And
I feel like you would have hated that.
yeah, I think I would have. Although, I mean, I wear a headset all the time at the after show. So, but yeah, I think just the progress of the show, if you've listened to episode 1 and you're listening to episode 71, we've really made a lot of progress, and I'm really proud of us. And I want to thank all our loyal and ultra loyal listeners. You know, we launched the show, it goes up, and before I can even get it unveiled on or released on social media platforms, we already have a multitude of downloads. So thank you all so very much. And the Flying Canadian, Rob McDonald, dude, thanks for your input from the last shows. Always love hearing from you, brother. Can't wait to see you in March. Yeah, I've been sharing their input with Cole, and Cole,
Cracks me up.
Yeah.
You're our most northern executive producer. How about that?
We'll take it. Yeah, for sure. Thank you. So yeah, man, we went off into Guthrie 2, which was a Friday night show only, pro night, live on MAV TV and streamed live at Arenacross. I can't remember what their streaming app is, but at any rate, getting there Thursday to get everything reset and cleaned. That Oklahoma dirt is amazing, but boy, is it dusty in that arena. And so I had to get there Thursday, literally had to get a backpack blower and blow off the canopy, and just get stuff all lined out and watch them rebuild the track. The guys at VMAC Tracks working, they had riding school, which we talked about in the last midweek. So they changed the track up for that. And then they had to completely rebuild the track for pro night back to basically AXSX type pro track. And I thought they did a really good job. The track was even faster. They knocked it down from like, I think about 56 seconds down to about 46-second laps,
Whoa.
which helps with TV.
Yeah.
And they changed it up, made some, ran in the reverse direction. And I really liked the S turn at the end of the start. So it was exciting racing. Right before the races, I had the opportunity after practice to have a little chat with our boy Kyle Bitterman, and here's what he had to say. Hey man, here we are after show at Guthrie 2 for the Kicker AMA Pro Arenacross. Kyle Bitterman, good to see you back up there and running hard after that slam in Grand Island, bro.
Yeah, we're starting to feel a little better after that hard hit that we took. Head's feeling a little better, body's still sore, but we're working out all the small injuries, and hopefully we got a little more, a little more power to dig down deep and have some fight in us today. But hopefully I can mix up there. I know this next practice we're going to be able to put down a better time, so I'm excited for that. But just excited to get after it, and man, I want to get one of these W's. Don't know if it's going to be tonight, but before the season's over, man, I got to get one.
I know. And you've been digging. You're looking sporty this year. So what do you think of the track for round 2?
I think the track's all right. I honestly wish it was a little more technical. It's just a little bit too much wide open, really, I think anyways. But, we all got to race it, so just got to figure it out and see if we can put it down. But there's some technical parts to it, but it's just a little more outdoory feel than our typical arena cross, So, but let's see if we can play the inch game and try to figure it out. Yeah, right. That's one thing I know is you guys are good at is figuring it out. That's so it. I know you'll make it happen. Thanks for jumping on real quick. Good luck. Yep, thank you.
So I know you saw some of the clips. I don't know that you got the live coverage, but I know you saw some of the videos from the race. What's your take? I mean, as a racer, what's your take on the track?
Well, I preface this comment with I've not done anything near arena cross, but yeah, I agree with Bitterman in the fact that I like a very slow technical track. I think that when guys get in their groove, I think that almost is what kills racing. Not saying that that's what happened this week, but I think that technicality is what separates good riders from great riders, right? So, and as he should be, he's extremely confident in his craft. And so he's probably like, nah, dude, make a scary triple, make some gnarly step on, step off. Let's do some crazy chicane thing, build up the big berms because I'm ready to go. Where a lot of us on the ground level of a hobbyist, we're like, maybe cut those jumps down. We don't really want to go down that rocky ravine. We don't need to go through these silt beds. So yeah, I think that he's got a point, and I would love to see, more. And we've had this talk before. I would love to see organizations make pro riders more uncomfortable, not more unsafe. And
right,
like when, especially not to get too far off topic, but like when Supercross does these throwback tracks, make them throwback tracks where they sucked, where there was holes in the whoops and you had single to single to single to a steep table, and like, no, it shouldn't be fun for you guys. So that's my take on it. I'm taking what Bitterman said, and I'm running really far with that ball.
Right. Yeah. You did get out there, but you do make a valid point because, and I think they've made great strides this year, with the track building. The whoops have been gnarly all year,
almost every round. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think they're making steps that way, and the rhythm section um, what was that rhythm section leading to the finish? When they ran it backwards in round Guthrie 2, um, there was a lot of guys struggling getting their timing at the end off the tabletop because it was like there was two ways you could do it, and you could double seat bump off a tabletop, single out, like double single out, or you could double triple over the tabletop, triple out. And there was a few guys that tried that and just wadded to shit. Um, and really, what's crazy is you see these the AB All Stars um, trying to like double seat bump, single, and triple out, and clipping the back wheel and just wadding it into the berm. There was probably 3 in 3 laps.
Damn.
But that being said, kudos to him for trying to find a fast line.
Yeah, they're putting the manhood on the table with that one.
Yeah, for sure. And there was some gnarly stuff I saw. That seat bump triple out. It was weird because nobody tripled or quadded to the tabletop.
Yeah, it's far. Yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't enough run up. But there was some guys singling to triple seat bump. And I saw Peters, Brees, Bitterman, and Clark all try that. But it just looked awkward, and it seemed like they couldn't get the timing coming off. So I thought they did a good job on that section. Some of the other sections, I would agree with them. They were racy, and they were more racy than they were technical for sure. But, I guess that's all part of it. We'll see what Prescott Valley holds this weekend. That's where we are this weekend. It's a hockey rink, so it's back to true, probably 25-second lap, 4-lane arena cross. But I can tell you that when I left this afternoon, VMAC was just starting to build the whoops, and the whoop pad was waist deep on me.
Ooh. Wow.
So
damn. That's kind of scary.
yeah,
I don't have to ride it, but
the one thing with the way they did the track in Guthrie, because it's so huge, you got to remember Guthrie's twice as big as anywhere else we go.
largest equestrian indoor center in America.
Yeah, exactly, for sure. Well done. Lazy E Arena. But they ran the whoops into a little like dragon spack rhythm section into the corner. And the whoops were big. They weren't as big as the weekend before. But the one thing I did notice in that direction with limited drive coming out of the corners was Kyle Peters. Well, we're going to get into this, but Kyle Peters, like every other lap, would blitz the whoops. Betterman was blitzing the whoops, and he's a big kid.
Yeah.
And he's got probably 40 or 45 pounds on Peters, as well as, probably 4 or 5 inches in height. Isaiah Clark was blitzing him most of the time. And Brees is built like you. He's short and stocky. And he was blitzing, but he was literally one little lump of dirt away from crashing every lap. And it's now, after watching him for 7 rounds, I've realized that that's his style. That's how he gets through the whoops. And I personally believe it's imminent that he's going to have a big wad in the whoops.
He's on the limit. He's running it deep.
He's literally, yeah, he is running as hard as he possibly can, which kudos. I mean, that's what it takes to be the best,
Yeah.
and be up there and running. And he finished 1-1.
Yeah. So can't argue with the style. The results speak for themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of the big news, people would say the big news for the weekend was Peters went 2-2. But, in the scoring system, I think I did the math. And if Peters won one or two more rounds the rest of the season, finished second the rest of the season, he'd still win the championship. And Kyle Peters is he's trying to ignore all the chatter about chasing number 5, but I know he's chasing number 5.
Yeah, and I think that that's definitely a reason that he decided to keep going after last season. Not saying that he's old by any means, but I know that it wasn't not a factor going for Antonez's 5. So yeah, he's at 214 points right now, where Brees is at 195, Bitterman 165, and we'll go to fourth with Isaiah Clark at 141. So yeah, he's got a 20-point cushion.
Yeah, and with 1 point per position, it's don't get me wrong, it's far from comfortable. I mean, look at Tomac a couple of years ago when he was out there and pop, and he's out for the year.
Last year. Yep.
Last year. Yeah, that was last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it just feels like a long time ago.
Yeah, it does. But, I think kind of going the opposite way of what you were saying, and Kyle's not quitting. If Kyle Peters hits number 5 this year, he's not going to hang it up. He's, I'm good friends with his bike chief. I'm good friends with his dad. I'm good friends with Kyle, and he's just having fun.
Yeah,
he's
that's
having
great.
So much fun doing Arenacross that he doesn't want to quit. So, and I'm really stoked about that, because that says something about the growth of the series.
Yeah.
Where we've created a series where people are going, I like doing this. I don't need to go run that other series, outdoor, whatever. This is my jam. I'm loving it. So
yeah, I mean, and it is the AMA sanctioned Arenacross series, right? So it's to be real, it's the big dog.
It is the big dog. Yeah, it is the only Arenacross series. There is another popular arena motocross series, and they have some names and they have some good riders, but they are not AMA. They're not the big dog. They're not the real deal, right? So
I'd agree with that.
It's I think it's a great series, and I think the big news for last weekend, and I knew this early but I couldn't say anything, is KP busted out a 450.
Yeah, they snuck it in there for testing, huh?
Yeah, so he ran it all night.
So Lesher and Bitterman, they're on 250s, right?
No, Lesher, yes.
Yeah, it's such a big arena. It's like really hard to. I mean, obviously, if you only have a 250, duh. But seems like Ryan Brees brought the heat the first round on the 450, and then it was like, guys, we got to do that. So then they brought in the big dog.
Yeah, and I think it was hit and miss. However, Kyle wanted to do, but and I didn't realize this on the AMA rules, but if you go to a backup bike or a second bike, you cannot switch back the rest of the race, the rest of the night.
That makes sense.
So he went out and tested on the 450 and qualified on the 450.
So then
and exactly. So
committed.
him and Brees were in like a qualifying battle. They were just one up in each other. In second practice, Brees was up 3/10 the whole practice. And this is what Kyle Peters is so good at, dude. Brees is up 3/10 the whole practice. Last lap, Peters beats him by 3/10.
Damn. So he found 6/10 and just laid it on the table.
Yeah. Yeah. And his lap didn't, like, he wasn't out of control. He wasn't like, oh my God, anything.
James Stewart hanging off the bike for the love of
Yeah.
God. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was just looked like 100% natural lap. It did look fast, but I was watching and I'm like, oh, this is going to be a good lap. And all of a sudden he's like 3/10 and the checkered flag is flying.
That'd
And
be
I'm
crushing
like-
if you're Brees.
Well, and that's the whole thing. KP is good at that mental game.
Yeah, just let you have it, and then zip, reel you in.
Yeah. And as it turned out, I think when they went to the actual qualifying, I think Brees beat him by a 10th or something. And kudos to Brees. That means he came out and knocked 4/10 off, so.
Crazy.
But KP looks 100% natural and smooth. And when Brees is busting out laps like that, he looks like a wreck waiting for a place
More
to happen.
exciting.
Yeah,
The more exciting
definitely-
lap.
Definitely more exciting. So,
That's got to be stressful being his team.
yeah.
Watching him go out there and like holding a piece of dynamite.
Yeah, and actually the team that he's riding for now is Jace Owens' team.
Oh, go figure. Okay.
And, Jace got hurt overseas, I believe, and wasn't able to run. And they signed Brees as a filling rider to get him through the rest of the season. So,
I did
and
not
he's
know
doing
that.
great. He's a great guy, super nice, and very competitive. And the racing was good. I think Brees went one, pro one, pro main one. I think Brees went first, Peters went second, and Isaiah Clark hit that third spot on the podium. Really
you nailed
proud
it.
of him.
Yep.
Yeah, he was on a roll. He was riding great in Guthrie too. He looked good. He looked racy. Qualified top 4, and he might even pulled that third spot in qualifying. But the dude is really, he's coming off pretty serious injury, and he's just getting better and better. Bitterman looked really good in qualifying. I think he ended up 4th in Pro Main 1.
Yep.
And 5th in Pro Main 2.
Nailed it. Yep.
Yeah, which I think some of the little aches and pains are still picking on him.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't your job, you probably wouldn't ride for a few weeks after
Yeah.
that slam. So,
Yeah,
I'm
and that
sure
was a
he's
major.
sore.
I mean, to have helmet rash and goggle rash. And for those of you who don't understand what helmet rash or goggle rash is, Cole, I know you've had it. I've had it. Why don't you give the listeners a visual?
Well, the best thing I can explain is if you had sunglasses over your eyes and you got punched in the face, and then you had a perfect outline of the sunglasses after from hitting a jump at 30 miles an hour. It's about the closest that I can relate. Now, helmet rash, I've never had that. Now, goggle rash, for sure. I've had the raccoon eyes going to school on Monday.
Yeah, I've had both. And basically, when you flat face it into something hard, the actual fabric on your helmet can cause you a little bit of cheese grater on your skin. but it has to be hard because you know as well as I do, and anybody that's wearing a helmet, they're pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
So for the liner to give you a little bit of cheese grater, raspberry, um, it's hard.
Yeah. And what's funny is the technology for off-road stuff has completely gone the other way from what your guys' road race stuff is, because they're realizing that, oh, we don't need a 100-mile-an-hour impact helmet. We need to start protecting the noggin like 20 miles an hour. And so they've actually softened them up a lot, thank God. But yeah, helmet rash, goggle rash, none of it's fun.
Yeah, no, and on that, you know, a lot. I wear the uh fly. My moto helmet is a fly carbon. Um, what model do they call that?
So it's the, oh, I can't believe I'm going to do this right now. And
I'm
it's the fly, it's
Formula Carbon
Formula Carbon with MIPS technology.
with MIPS technology, which is unbelievably brilliant. Very, very, very um, just the next level in safe for your head protection, brain protection. And now they even have another level that is even higher, um, even has, I believe, an impact sensor in the helmet.
Yep. So if you bonk your head pretty good, it'll call your wife and say there's a problem.
Right? Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy. It's good that it's getting to that level, but who would have thought that between like the Alpine Stairs airbag stuff for off-road, um, yeah, the MIPS technology, the Fly formula with the crash sensor, it's crazy. It's good to
Yeah.
see, and it's nice that they're not some big stupid goofy looking helmet either. They're still look super badass.
Yeah, for sure. And Brees does wear the airbag.
Oh, he does. I didn't
He
know
wears an
any.
airbag vest.
I
Yeah.
had no idea that any moto guy wore it.
Yeah, we actually were talking about it now, and he goes, "Yeah, I'm wearing one." I'm like, "Oh, that's a good idea."
Smart.
Um, yeah, for sure. So it's a good way to prolong your career. I mean, you look, KP with the hardware in his neck now, he started wearing a Liat, so never worn one until then, and doesn't seem to bother him, doesn't hold him back much. Um, Getting back to Guthrie, man, main one was crazy good. Main two with everybody in the back. Um, it was it was a good race. Um, do I think they ended up with Brees one, uh, Kyle Peters number two, and did Lesher take third?
Yeah, Lesher went 5-3 for third.
Yeah, yeah, and I think Bitterman ended up fifth, and
He fourth with a 4-5.
Bitterman ended up fourth. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Yeah, he just rode consistent in the second main, and like I said, I mean, he took a big slam, so and Isaiah Clark had a mechanical. He managed to, I believe, finish, but he finished way out of the top 10. Um, sorry.
You're fine. I can edit that out.
He finished way out of the top 10. And in talking to the team owner, Jason Thompson of Lasting Impressions Concrete, which that's the team Isaiah rides for, as well as Kyle Bitterman, the Lasting Impressions Concrete, Ashley Electric, Storm Lake Honda team. I asked Jason, I said, "Man, what happened? I didn't, I didn't get to see a lot of it." And he said he took another bike, got into him, and it knocked the negative for the coil wire, the bottom connection of the coil, the negative wire, almost completely, basically off to
Whoa.
the point where it was touching intermittently. So the bike was running and then popping and farting, and no power, and then it was running. And so,
Wow, how strange.
just a weird deal. He thinks a shroud just got pushed in and popped and just jammed it, and something nobody's ever seen before. So, and that's all, that's racing,
Yeah.
right? Unfortunately, that kind of stuff you just never know. So, but it was good night. Everybody got out safe. Dude, we packed up, and I went in Saturday morning, packed everything down. Um, Unfortunately, I had idled the big giant kicker general, um, with really old crappy gas in it for
Oh no.
about an hour, and I shut it off and went to restart it, and it would not refire. Um, and I had to get it off the track. That was Friday night. I had to get it off the track before the Amateur National Championships, Saturday and Sunday, so we could get it back. So I was able. Fortunately, I had the incredibly built kicker Kawasaki Terex KRX 1000 there,
And Kawasaki saving the day once again.
Yeah, and the General has a super ATV winch on it. So, boom, hooked her up to the Cowie and drug her out and packed the booth up. And the boss, J Dub, showed up with the big trailer, and he hopped in the Cowie and I hopped in the General, and he towed me out. I kind of felt like my tail was stuck between my legs, but towed it right up in the trailer, and I winched her right up, lashed her down, packed up, and man, away we went. Um, Managed to get home Sunday. Had a busy day Monday. Shout out to our friends and family there at Kicker Performance Audio. I have some new subwoofers going in my boat. I am switching to the new L7. The I don't know the cooling technology L7S, in a 10-inch subwoofer. And I dropped the box off with my good friends over at Elite Audio Havasu. If you are in Southern California or Arizona or anywhere that you're willing to make the drive to get the very best, get a hold of our friends at Elite Audio Havasu. They do some insane stuff. They're great people. And he will be building me a custom ported box tuned to, I don't know what hertz he's going to tune it to yet. But I guarantee I know how he does his work. It'll be slamming, and he's building it into the back seat assembly.
Oh, cool.
Of my boat.
So it's going to look all clean and all fresh.
Yeah, you won't even be able to tell unless you take the cushion off that it's a custom ported box. So, but I want to get that lined out and happening, give him extra time because he's already completely backslapped with boats getting ready for boating season.
It'll be Desert Storm before you know it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're already in the email planning stages for Desert Storm.
Crazy.
And I have been for a month already. So with a coordinator's assistant and stuff like that. So
that's like April.
Yeah. So Super Cat Fest this year will be the weekend before Desert Storm.
Controversial. No.
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of Mad Dog coordination running around and doing what I do, and I'm looking forward to it because I love it. But yeah, man, we got home, got that done, hopped in the car Wednesday morning, made the run up here to Prescott Valley, otherwise known as Sinus City or Allergy Hell.
Hashtag Prescott Pollen.
Yeah, I thought I was over the sinus from being in Stillwater in Oklahoma,
Nope.
where we had, mid to high 30s and fog and rain for 4 days straight. And then I got here yesterday afternoon, and this morning, it sounded like animal, So
That's just miserable when you're just trying to breathe.
yeah, and now it's I get this wrapped, and I'm gonna leave early Sunday and get back to the desert early Sunday, so I have a couple of days to dry out before I head up to Reno, which another high altitude racetrack, which I don't know what the altitude is here, but I know it's high.
It's got to be less than Denver, though. Yeah, it's got to, but probably not far off.
No, and the what's funny is
Oh, 5,400
Reno.
feet. Wow.
Yeah, so pretty close. Um, Reno is right up there with Denver.
Makes sense.
So Reno's almost 5,000 feet. So we've got, Loveland. They go from Loveland at 5,000 feet to OKC Guthrie at 1,200 feet or 900 feet to Prescott Valley at 5,400 feet to Reno at 5,000 feet. And then, a couple week break, and then Daytona Beach at 0 feet.
Yeah, thank God they're not carbureted anymore, huh?
Right. Oh, that would be.
I mean, still got to play with mapping a little bit, but
Yes.
at least it's zeros and ones.
Yeah, and so many of these guys now have access to the ECUs, and with the switch, you just flip a switch for your altitude. They have 3 different settings or 4 different settings. And I know a couple guys that actually run the switch on the bars.
Yeah, so you can hit the go baby go switch if you can hang on.
Yeah, you can lean her out a little bit and hope it don't blow up.
Yep.
So but yeah, no, we're here. Track's looking good here. Man, there's been some other big stuff going on in motorsports, and we're not just motorsports, but we are motorsports guys, So, Cole, give us a rundown. What is the latest?
Oh, King of the Hammers is about to wrap up. There are 2 more days left. Today was the big UTV race, which was exciting because of knowing people through the show and used to working in the industry. It's kind of nice to have people to root for. Especially, it's funny because, like, man, you have these guys like Cheney, and to be fair, Battle Axe and all these guys that are kind of shoe-ins in the rock stuff, but then it almost feels like Mitch is an afterthought when the dude just dominated in Dakars, and it kind of pisses me off because the announcers don't really know what they went. I mean, one of the announcers didn't even know how to pronounce Dakar. He's like, "Oh yeah, he just got back from that rally, and I think he did good. And anyway, now he's off the line." And it's like, dude, don't you know who his dad is? Like, don't you know his history in this race itself? But yeah, it was cool that I got to, even though I was working, I got to watch the whole race over YouTube today, and I'm still grateful that King of the Hammers does post that for free with ads on YouTube live, which is insane to think that there's cameras out in the middle of the desert. But great race today. Cheney's your 4-time champion. Mitch won his class and got 3rd overall. So Mitch won open class, but like I said, was 3rd overall. And he was just so cool, so humble on the podium. Just smiling, doing his classic, "Oh, I had a good time and we're here." So it was just interesting it was almost nice to see a Polaris do so well because it's the Can-Am King of the Hammers race and Can-Am, 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 Can-Am. So it was
Yeah.
nice to see just another brand get some coverage. And Jeremy McGrath was out there in his KRX, starting next to Brian Deegan. So as a moto fan, it was really cool to see that. I know that you and I both have a lot of friends out there in the desert right now. I wish we were out there playing with you guys. But yeah, it rained today as well. So that made the desert badass because it killed all the dust, but it also like totally screwed up the rocks today. So they're kind of hoping that these rocks dry out for the Everyman Challenge tomorrow because it was a slippery nightmare at some spots today. So the racing started at 9 a.m. this morning, and I stopped watching the television about 6 p.m. this time, and there were guys still out on their second loop. So it's going to be a long, cold night out there for some of those competitors.
Yeah, for sure. And I didn't realize it rained. I've had a lot of other stuff going on besides the Arenacross stuff. And so unfortunately, I've missed a lot of the coverage. But fortunately, I have Cole to keep me updated. Thank you so much for throwing me messages.
You're welcome.
Keep me in the loop. I've just there's been a lot of stuff going on my side of my life. So it's refreshing to get those updates. It's kind of like, hey, awesome. Yeah, rad. So and that being said, Mitchie, it's unfortunate that those guys, that the announcers aren't more educated on his career. It seems like it'd be pretty easy to do some homework. And of course, I'm biased, but kudos to him again, winning his class today.
Yeah, huge. In a car he built,
Yeah, in a car he built. Him and Curtis at their Guthrie Racing shop, and man, it's good to see. I would have loved to have seen him win the overall. And when you think back to when would he be 3-time now? Because I think he's 2-time.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So even with a class win, he should be considered 3-time because they didn't have classes back in those early days,
No,
and 13, 14, 12, 13, 14, 15. There was a UTV class.
Right.
There was no UTV turbo class, so and of course his dad being one of the greatest ever King of the Hammer racers in all classes, really.
Yeah, and he got some TV coverage today because he was in charge of Mitchie's pit, so it was cool that after Mitch left the pit, they shoved the mic in his face, and he was laughing because he was still talking to Mitch on the radio and talking to TV coverage. So he's like, "Hang on, okay," and you could hear everything Mitch was saying over the radio, which thank God he was keeping it mellow. But it was cool to see Senior doing triple duty for a moment.
And he's such a great guy.
I
just love him to death. And again, just humble. So congratulations.
Forgot the most exciting part because all the coverage that started at 9:00 today, all the way till the first finisher was our boy on the mic, Crow Dog, aka Mr. Crowley, aka John Crowley. So, dude, I could go on a whole rant about this, but they have one guy on this coverage that he just irks me so bad. So the fact that they had John on for today, that was a breath of fresh air. Somebody who knows what the hell he's talking about, somebody who knows those cars so well, somebody who's actually done the damn race. So yeah, badass job today, Crowley.
Yeah, and Crowley, on top of everything, he's just a great dude.
Awesome dude. Yep.
Worked with him extensively back in the Muzzies days, and between him, Mitch Senior, and Dean the Iceman Bullock, one year I think it might have been 2014. It was a top 3 Muzzy finish.
Oh man, damn! What a
Guthrie
year.
winning, Bullock second, and Crowley third. I think Crowley was the last guy. Third place was the last guy to finish in the time frame.
Wow. Yeah, that's impressive. And it's funny
Yeah,
because I know they're trying to get back to that, but it's like how much can you abuse people's equipment before they stop signing up to race? So that's got to be a fine line as the promoter. But anyway, yeah, that's what a day to have a Muzzy 1, 2, 3.
yeah, and we did that a lot in work, so I was kind of spoiled with RJ Mitchie and Ryan Piplick. And speaking of RJ, it was great to see him in the crew chief position for his little brother,
Yeah.
who's taller than him now, um, Ronnie. So, and I know they had a tough day. Um, Thoughts go out to them, but they're just such great kids too. So, Sarah Price also raced in the desert race, I believe,
See,
or the short course race.
they didn't even do like a sanctioned short course race, so it would have had to be the desert race. But man, I watched a lot of the coverage, and I mean, I know there's a lot of racers, but man, I guess I didn't even realize she was in it. So
Yeah, I think she's been jumping back and forth because of some family stuff. So,
gotcha.
but it's just it's great to see all these people. I want to say kids that I've worked with that are now, team owners and shop owners and still
Builders and
racing and still competitive and kicking people's asses internationally. It's pretty awesome. Um, while we're on King of the Hammers, I want to talk about Dustin Jones and their development with Can-Am of the anti-bump steer, ugliest upper control arms, knuckle setup that apparently works unbelievably well in the rocks setup. I saw a bunch of video of new X3s with that setup getting abused severely, and I really haven't seen any failures. So kudos.
yeah, and it's like you said, they're impressive to watch in the rocks. But this was so funny, and I don't know why this kind of strategy bugs me, but because of the engineering. But like today, Cheney had to come in after the desert loop, and then he had to put on like a wider and slightly taller tire because they weren't going to have the same speeds that they would in the desert section. So in the desert, they had to essentially run a smaller tire so it wouldn't get eaten by that upper control arm, and then pit just for the fact that the tire wasn't worn out, but they needed a different tire for the rocks. Oh, it just bugged me.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. Interesting. Very interesting. Huh.
And then I guess they shaved the top center of the desert tire to keep it from getting eaten by that upper control arm. So,
Wow.
so now the dog's kind of chasing the tail on setup.
Right. Yeah. Huh.
But it's at the end of the day, it's intuitive, it's ingenious, it's different, it's ugly, it's French Canadian, and it's winning.
Yeah. Yeah. Just one King of the Hammers. So, congratulations. Yeah. I mean, you're right. It's unconventional, per current standards, but it apparently works. And I would say proven at this point. It's obviously creating some required thought process and innovation from the guys who are racing it. So, anytime you have to be innovative in racing, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, look at the 70s era Formula One cars. You had some travesties, but we look back at it so fondly because of how unique it was. So maybe it's hard to tell that we're in those times right now with this sport.
for sure. And even NASCAR, when they came out with the Aero cars, I mean, they weren't received exceptionally well by a lot of people.
No,
You
I wouldn't
know,
imagine. No.
it was like unconventional. That's and now, if you think back to those people back way back in the 70s, 60s, late 60s, when they had the Superbird and the Daytona and the Cyclone, that Mercury Cyclone was 100% aero car also, and very undersold. But I believe the Bonnets ran it and had great success. Maybe the Allisons too, but people thought they were ugly as sin.
Right. And now we look back at them and they get $1 million at Barrett Jackson.
Yeah, or twice that or whatever. Yeah, for sure. So, maybe it's progress. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Maybe they'll be fender cars eventually to where you're not seeing those big, goofy slapper arms. So who knows?
Yeah,
It's,
and at some point maybe they'll find a way to make them more attractive.
yeah, it make them fit with the body line better or something. But when you're in the front seat and you're the first one on the podium, I guess you don't really care how it looks.
Yeah, exactly. Well said. Well said. So, yeah, King of the Hammers is just amazing. If you're not familiar with King of the Hammers, just Google it. You know, well over 100,000 people go out and camp in the desert for 2 weeks. Um, there's vendors, there's Hammertown, a full city they build, the racing, the recreation, the parties. I have done two King of the Hammers with my good friend Russell from Buggy Whips, and both of them have been absolutely insane, and a good time. So yeah, man. I want to highlight, since you were talking about people that have been on our show, um, little insight that you and I had that Mr. Pro Eagle himself, Chuck Foreman, um, maybe dropped some hints during our show when he was on here about what was coming for hammers. And of course, we knew, but he has developed a long-term partnership with BF Goodrich to put a mini BFG, what is it, the TA3
Yeah.
on the Pro Eagle Jack, and they
So
will
crazy.
be. It's nuts. With a molded custom mimic of the Walker Evans wheel, and they're gonna be production.
Dude, I love it. Like, it's so funny. Yeah. One, like Chuck said, he was like, "You guys won't believe like what we came up with," and he was right. And I'm a total BFG nerd. They're not a partner or a sponsor of the show, but dude, I'm a big fan of BFG products and their history in racing. And so when you Chuck is just a damn genius because he made a jack that looked like the old Rally Dakar Porsche, and it sold out in like 2 days. And now you got
Yes,
this thing that's a Walker Evans wheel and a BFG on a jack. Keep in mind, a floor jack used to run through your family for 7 generations, and now people are buying them because there's a cool new version of a jack because of what Chuck thinks of.
yeah, and to his credit, I mean, that's amazing, right? And
Duh, yeah.
and being a fan of Pro Eagle, a user of Pro Eagle, and completely unpaid. He is not a partner of the show, but it is an amazing product. Um, Kicker is a partner with Pro Eagle, and I know every time they have that big giant Bronco um, that they show, every time they have to take it somewhere, the Pro Eagle comes out because they have to swap. They have to have transport tires so it'll fit in the trailer, much like a monster truck.
Yep.
So, and they love it. And now, it's super cool that even, okay, so you have a Pro Eagle. You can soon, you'll be able to buy the upgraded BFG tires and retrofit your old Pro Eagle to it.
I would love to have been on the BFG side of things when this meeting was proposed. It was like, you want to make what now? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the BFG guys seem pretty open minded and pretty good. And I could see them going, well, your jack is everywhere. Why would we not want our tires on it? Right. And that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
So I got an idea for Chuck now. So BFG also makes small tires for the small RC trophy trucks. So now I think Chuck needs to make a tiny Pro Eagle jack.
He made a limited production of those. I don't know that they worked, but you're right. He should make a small one that works.
People would buy it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it would go crazy. Chuck, if you're listening, also, we've spent so much time talking about you. I should invoice you.
True.
So send me a message so I know where to send the invoice, Chuck.
We'll wait till after tax season, but we'll figure it out. We'll get it handled. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. No, seriously, such a great guy. That was episode what were we? 40?
Man, it doesn't feel that
50,
long ago.
60?
Let's find out. Boom, boom, boom. It was episode 63.
63. Yeah. So, and that was a great episode. If you haven't listened to it, go back. Chuck is so humble. And it's like, oh yeah, I won the Baja 1000 3 times. And, it's like, wait, hold on.
Yeah, stop at that part.
Yeah. So, I'm just grateful to have gotten to know Chuck and call him friend, and I'm super excited that he is just absolutely freaking slaying it. So yeah, and with that, I think our King of the Hammers report is probably wrapped, and we're probably pushing up on time for tonight. You've probably listened to enough of my raspy, deep voice. Cole, what you got?
Man, that's about it. Like you said, we're pretty close on time here. There's so much there, in a good way, so much we could get into, but we'll save it for another day. But just as we wrap up, my boy Jake Young has joined District 37, which is the more premier league of AMA off-road racing. So I'm very excited for that. He just did a sprint enduro on his brand new YZ250, and so he is racing National Grand Prix Championship out at Honolulu Hills in Taft, California this weekend. So good luck, Jake. First Grand Prix with District 37. I think you'll love it. Even if you hate it, you'll love it. It's a world away from District 38. If I could, I'd be out there with you, and I would had the best times District 37. So just want to say good luck and be safe to Jake.
Jake, and good luck, and we wish you the best. You need to get out there. He needs his crew chief.
No invite. It was almost like a read between the line things. Like, I'm signing up, and I'm like, for what? And then I'm Taft. I'm like, God damn it! I already had plans this weekend. Should have. You got to give me 6 months ahead of time.
Right. I get that. We have some great guests lined up coming up. If we can get our schedules all put together.
What a curse it's been.
Yeah, it really has been, but we got some good stuff coming up. We want to be sure and thank Kicker Performance Audio. By the way, I want to touch on this earlier. Their new TW2. Yes.
For our YouTube watchers.
True wireless earbuds. What do you think?
Dude, these things are awesome.
I know they just sent you a set.
Yeah, they did. Thank you, Kicker. I really, really appreciate the boys over there sending me a little care package and you facilitating that, Lorin. true story. My wife was using one of my EB400 pairs, and she said she lost them at the gym. So I was like, cool. We'll go to Lost and Found when we go tomorrow. We'll go pick those things up. Well, unfortunately, somebody decided that they needed a pair of Kicker EB400s more than the Lost and Found box. So we lost a pair. And what showed up that day from UPS, but a pair of Kicker TW2s. So the timing could not have been more impeccable. And I got to play with them today. Literally, it's like a 8-hour charge on the actual earbuds themselves. The charging port's like 16 hours or 24 hours. So no, they're nice. I can't write this on the website, but it's like having an AirPod that's not lame.
I love it. I love it. That should be their new pitch. It's like having an AirPod that's not lame.
And they're cool color. They're black, and they don't say Apple on them. So that checks out in my book.
Very nice. Yeah, I really like mine. I got them when I was back there just as they released, just after they released them. And I have listened to some of our podcasts flying home Sunday with them as Dan at Dirtworks Oklahoma busted his EB. I think he had wired ones. I loaned him my EB200s, and maybe someday I'll get them back. On your EB400s, very similar thing happened to the first pair I had with the Viking. And I will just tell you, instead of checking Lost and Found, you might just check her gym backpack.
Oh, okay. No, I'll do that right after the show. And if I find them, I might tear up because I love those things. Luckily, I have a backup pair, but I want all of my pair.
Right. Well, that's where mine ended up. Oh, I think I lost them. Yeah, no, I know better.
Yeah.
She wears them all the time at the gym.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to listen to gym music. It's gym music. It's horrible.
No, I agree. I agree completely. So, with that, thank you, Kicker. We are stoked for the TW2s. Check them out on the website at kicker.com. See some of their new products coming up on their TV show, live TV show on Facebook and YouTube, Tuesdays, every other Tuesday, 7:30 Central at Kicker Unmasked Live, or find them on Instagram at Kicker Audio. Thank you, Bomber Eyewear. Tommy, appreciate you guys so much. Shout out to Jason, the Bearded Bomber. Man, I am so grateful for you guys creating the blue jeans, the sunglasses where everybody can afford to have 15 pairs. I have 18, and I'm super grateful. You can get them in safety lens, clear, amber, smoke, mirrored, over 40 frame styles.
Wow.
I don't even know how many lens combinations, and you can get them in prescription, which I have 2 pairs. I have them in shooter glasses. I have them in clear safety glasses. Just love them. Bomber safety eyewear, Bomber floating eyewear, bombereyewear.com. Find them on Insta at Bomber Eyewear. Of course, Cole, where would I be without you? Producing podcasts, sharing your love for desert racing through the lens of a camera. Folks, slide into his DMs on Insta at the Premix Podcast. Get scheduled to get some pics of your ride out ripping through the desert, or schedule them for your MC or announcer needs. Everything from baptisms to drag racing.
Pigeon
He's
racing.
got you covered. If you have a slot car series,
Dude, I
it's
want in on
something
this.
he really wants to check off of his list. So slide into his DMs on Insta, the at symbol ThePremixPodcast at the Premix Podcast.
Killed it.
Yeah, thank you. Of course, Kelsey Morel Film at Kelsey Morel Film on Instagram for all your audio visual needs. She's got you covered, whether you need to do a full-blown commercial or you just need some video stuff edited, she's got you covered. And of course, a special shout out to Kels for getting our stuff ready for the YouTube and YouTube podcast channels that we will be re-releasing as early as Monday.
Wow.
Watch our YouTube channel, Mad Dog Media. Of course, Hey Geeks Marketing, helping us with everything from business cards to websites. She manages our website, our art, helps us with our artwork, our social media templates. If you need anything like that, anything from a website built to a full-on social media influencer campaign, yell, Hey Geeks, or find her online, heygeeks.com, or on Insta at Hey Geeks Marketing. Cole, do the speech.
Make sure to rate, review, subscribe on your favorite streaming platform.
It's so good. Do it again.
I wish I had another camera so I could look to it. It would be more dramatic. Make sure
really
to
would be.
rate, review, subscribe on your favorite streaming platform.
I love it. Thank you to all our loyal listeners. Thank you for your input. Thank you for your reviews. Thank you for your ratings. Thank you for sharing us and helping us grow. We appreciate it greatly. We love all you guys. Speaking of love, just want to say, just reach out, love your family, hug your siblings. If you got a beef with one of your siblings, bury the hatchet. Life is short. Things come at you fast, and before you know it, someone could be gone from your life. With that, rest in peace. Hashtag Lil Sis, Mita. We miss you already. Mad Dog out.